Hey, what's up, dudes? My name is Peroz. Welcome back to more tutorials, and today we're on effects. Finally, effects. I'm gonna go right side go before I forget. Um, and recently I've done sync, shake, pan and crop, color correction, got the sharpen on there and everything. We'll just go ahead and take a look at what we got here.
Should I run away and change my name? Or should I stay and fight through the night and never close my eyes? Should I?
So it's looking pretty damn nice, and I just want to say that, like, everyone asks me for effects all the time. All the people that are like somewhat like beginners with editors, like, how do I do effects? How do I do this? But I'm telling you, like, all of these effects are gonna mean nothing if your sync is shit. If your bass is shit, if you can't pan and crop good, if you don't have a good understanding of all of this like bass stuff, then it's just not. Like, look how, like, not to glaze myself or anything, but look how like decent this already looks with just like basically no effects on it, just shake and pan and crop, right? And then you add effects and that makes it look better. But like, literally, if it was up to me, I would just put like the most basic shit onto this. So in my opinion, the song controls a lot of the effects that you use, and this is a pretty clean, like, nice song. So for today, I'm gonna stick with like what I think matches with the song, but there'll be more tutorials coming up with more effects and all the good stuff that you guys are hankering for. So let's get into it. So my first thought is to put exposure on, and I put this onto my pan and crop layer because exposure and pan and crop sort of work together in my opinion. Exposure on the shots, on the beats, all that good stuff. And I'm definitely going to copy and paste quite a few keyframes here because I can. What you gonna do about it? Can't do nothing. Alright, so I'm gonna be doing like the same thing with going back 2 frames and then making keyframe, then going forward 2 keyframes and then putting like the actual value on. So if we just go back 2, we go exposure, forward 2, and we put that on like 1 or 2, we'll see. 2 is probably gonna be way too bright. We'll make that on 1, and then we'll just bring that like over here and bring it to 0, and it just adds like a little bit of, and we'll easy ease these bad boys. I know you guys want more like it's intense like effects and stuff, and we'll get there. Just bear with me through this stuff. So I'm just gonna copy and paste a bunch of these. I might actually add one here as well, just because the guy gets shot there. I might just add a little bit of, a little bit of something. So I usually like do it clip by clip when I'm doing like effects. I'll be trying out different methods recently, and I'll let you know how that goes in other videos in the future. But yeah, that looks pretty good. And for blurs, I think I'll just make an adjustment layer, and I'll put a camera lens blur on. I just usually go cam blur like that. And then like maybe like slash blurs, because I put more blurs on that layer. Man, I got the croaky voice today. So camera lens blur, you can't see it, but there you go. Repeat edge pixels, and we'll turn that to 0 for now, and we'll go back like 2 keyframes. 0, forward 2, make that like 10. And I think camera lens blur is like the nicest like blur. I usually don't change like any of the other controls here. You can mess around with all the stuff though. It will definitely change things up, but for me personally, I just like the way it looks default. Okay, let me since we're onto effects, let me explain like the layers a little bit. So if you go up here, you click on layer, and you go new, and you got like text, which is obviously text. Solid is basically like a black solid, and it works differently with different effects. Like if you have something that has like if your effect that you drag onto it has like a composite mode, or compositing mode, and you go transparent, it would probably work a lot better with a solid. So if I do a solid, which I usually do for bars, just name it bars, you go boom, it's black, and then you come over here and you type up jaws. It's called CC jaws. You drag that on. We go height 0, and then completion we go like 90, and there you go, you got your bars. Not bad, just like that. On off. Boom. So back up to layers, new. You got camera and null object, which I don't really use unless I'm doing like some kind of like 3D stuff. Shape layer, literally just never really use that. And the adjustment layer is what we've been putting all the effects on. And you got to keep in mind with adjustment layers. So let's say we got our color correction up here. That is going to apply to everything underneath it. Same with the sharp being above the color correction. So if you put like a, I don't know, like a hue and saturation, and you have it like spin through all the colors, and it's underneath the color correction, it'll affect it differently. So sometimes having the shake and pan and crop above everything looks better. So that way everything is moving together, because you know shake and pan and crop are moving a lot. Yeah, that's basically, you know, I'll bring it up more when it actually comes into play here with me editing and whatnot, but yeah, you get the gist. See, this edit is just too clean, man. It doesn't like need anything. Maybe we can have the blur on like the intro bit as well. Now for this bit here, maybe we'll do a little bit of exposure here too. Bang. I'm thinking about optics compensation as well, which is an effect I really enjoy using. You know, if I color the layer or something certain, I use it a lot. So this is usually orange for me, and I usually put warp on the same one. So I'll call this optics / warp. Even if I don't use warp in that edit, always put warp on there. So optics compensation, drag that on there. And not too many controls here. I just like to reverse lens distortion. And I'm going to go forward one, or back one frame, sorry, keyframe, forward one frame. I'm going to put this on like 75, and it sort of zooms out the edges. I'll just increase it so you can really see. And you can you even decrease it? Nah, it just goes down to 0. So I'm going to go like, yeah, like 75. Press U to open up my like keyframes. I'm just going to have it go tone down there. Might actually go back a few more frames here, so it sort of makes like a bit of a transition. So for transitions as well, BlurMoCurves is usually the way to go, and I like to put that underneath my shake, usually, or like right above the sync layer. So I'll just call this BlurMo, and I usually make this one purple personally, even though it's pretty easy to find. Sorry. And we'll go up here and we'll go BlurMo. So it's BlurMoCurves, so it's a Sapphire plugin. And what it does is basically like pan and crops and blurs, and does like a radial blur all at the same time. You want to wrap the X and Y as well, make that reflect. Otherwise you're going to get these horrible black bars. So you see how it comes in, and then I go left. I start to go left, so if we go back like a few frames here, and then I'm going to keyframe the X and Y and the center XY, and then we'll just open this up, and we'll go forward a few frames here and see how it like changes there. We can sort of make this blend a little bit more. So if we shift here a little bit, sorry, I didn't mean to do the center, I mean to do, what is it, the Z distance. So if we just reset this here, bring up the Z distance, drag that keyframe that's at 0 back, and we just, maybe we go out a little bit. So it'll just go zoom. Obviously we will reset like right here, like bang. And there's a bit of black going on here, so I'm not too sure what's up with that. Oh, I pressed the reset button, so we had to add the wrap X and Y again. So I mean, it's not super great, like the way I've done it here, but it still works. And we'll do it here as well. To go like 5-ish keyframes, and we'll just keyframe the Z distance, since we're just sort of going backwards here. Now we'll increase this like a bunch, and then reset it back to 1 when the next clip happens. I'm sure like a lot of like trick shot editors and stuff use this a lot more. I don't use this super often. Alright, let's just watch this bit here, make sure I'm not missing any like effects that I could be jamming in here. Not once it fucking ran previews. Goddamn.
Should I run away and change my name? Or should I run away and change my name?
So there is like a, I don't know if you can hear like the kicker on the drum, like doop doop doop. We could maybe do something with that. There's just 3 doop doop doop. So I'll go new. Solid. I'll just call this like fades or flickers or whatever the fuck you want really, and I'm just going to press T to open opacity, go to 0 real quick, and I'm pretty sure it happens on this marker, but we'll just okay, so there's actually 4. Okay, it's a bit hard to tell, there might only be 3. Okay, so I think so we'll find where the first like duk is of the, you know, the kicker. So it's about here. So I'll put a keyframe there so I know where that is, and I go back like 3. So it's a bit of like a slow fade. Then I just put this on like maybe like 50, maybe 65, maybe 60. We'll see. Then we'll just go 1, 2, 3, and we'll see if that sort of matches like the pace of the flicker. I think it does. So then we go 1, 2, 3 again, and then 1, 2, 3, something like that. So we go. Okay, there's one more. Now, did I fuck up the values here? I did a little bit, but that's fine. Make sure that's 3 frames apart. Okay, that might be like kind of iffy, but we'll have a look.
Should I run away and change my name? Or should I run away and change my name?
Almost feels like there's like 1 too many. I think it's because he's getting shot at the same time, so his screen's like flinching a little bit. Alright, let's focus up and see if there's anything else.
Should I run away and change my name?
Now, sometimes you don't need to get like super intense with focusing on like every single sound. Sometimes it is like really, really good to focus on every single sound and make an effect for every single sound going on. It just really depends on like what you're doing. Personally, I don't think this has like enough like oomph to it, so I'm going to increase that a little bit. Alright, sort of like what we got so far with this first clip, keeping it clean and basic. Not bad, not bad. And we'll move on to this next one, which is definitely going to have a lot more to it. Definitely going to have a lot more to it. Now, for very like particular effects, I will do them first, like this bit here. I want to add a depth of field to this shit right here, boy. It's going to look mint. So I'm going to do that straight away. So there, when it comes to masking out guns, soldiers, characters, you fucking dick, I don't fucking know. Whenever you're masking shit, cutting shit out, there are like a handful of things you can use. You can straight just mask it yourself frame by frame, like make the mask, go one forward frame, you know, forward another frame, so me personally, I use a plugin called Mask Prompter, and it is a little buggy, I'm not gonna lie. Is that in my Discord? It might be in my Discord, go check it out. Or there is rotoscoping, which is a built-in After Effects thing, and I don't think it actually got like really good until After Effects 2024 or 2023. I'm on 2022 right now. I've enjoyed 2022 since I got it, so I've kind of just stuck with it. So I use Mask Prompter because the rotoscoping on this version is pretty mid. And I can see here with the keyframes that it starts to zoom in here. So I'm just going to put an extra keyframe right here. I'm going to turn it blue. Whenever I'm doing like a very specific effect or looking at something like specific in the song, I'll make like a blue keyframe. And this is when it zooms out right here. So I'll add another keyframe right there and make it blue. So in my mind, I know what's going on. And perfect. So this is a little bit that I'm going to have to like mask prompt out. So because of the way mask prompt works, I'm going to duplicate the whole sync layer and turn off the audio and cut it to where I want the masking shit to be. Alright, we'll just line it up here, something like that. And then I'll drag on mask prompter. I'll actually get it to like a decent frame first, and then maybe go full. God, full looks so much better. And then we'll go mask prompter. There we go. And it does take a hot minute to load. And I got nothing to talk about while it loads, so what's up? How's it going? And I usually don't cut these videos down either. The reason I don't like actually cut down my videos is because I know when some people are following the tutorial, they do XYZ, they follow it like perfectly, but then it doesn't work. And then there's a cut in the video and you're like, did he do something with that bit that he cut out? Because it's not working for me. So if you experience that, my tutorial is perfect because I don't cut my shit. For the most part, I don't cut it. So you like can follow like exactly what I'm doing, because there's nothing worse than following what they're doing and they cut their shit to like a minute after and you're wondering why your thing isn't working and you're wondering if it's in that bit that they cut out. So that's one reason why I don't cut my videos. Plus I don't need to like edit them and render them. I just up the YouTube, done. So mask prompter, if you manage to get your hands on it, I'm pretty sure it is in my Discord, but don't hold me to that. We can use the masking tool. So it also has points and it has negative points if you end up with like too much in your square. I'm going to turn edge enhancement on high, and I'm going to make a little box around the gun and probably the hand, just like this. And then I will go boxes, mask 1, and keep it on overlay so you get to see. It should load up in a second here. That's why I talked for a while, because I was hoping it would load, but it's still taking its sweet time. I'm pretty sure it's pretty CPU heavy, this plugin, so you're making this tutorial too long, man. Don't you crash, don't you do it. Yeah, that's what I thought, boy. Yeah, there we go. See, that's what will be masked out. So I'll go to like the first frame here. And then to sort of make it follow the gun, we'll open up the mask thing here, thingy-majingy right here. And you go mask path, you hold that keyframe. And then you just go across and across. So it's looking like it's fully just highlighting the gun for the most part. Maybe a little bit of the title is not needed. So we will move this in a little bit, hopefully stop highlighting that title. Do you mind title? Do you mind like fucking off? There we go. And then we'll go across another one. And we'll actually just move like the whole thing over just a little bit. There we go. So it might fuck up some of this shit here, but we can fix that with the negative points if it gets to be too much. There you go. Another keyframe. You can even go like a couple keyframes forward. Still looking good. Couple keyframes forward. Still looking good. It's not perfect. Mask prompted is definitely not perfect, but it's a lot quicker than doing other shit. And usually because I do like quite deathcore heavy edit kind of style, you know, lots going on, I can get away with it not being perfect. Okay. Okay, still looking good. So we're zooming out a bit here now with the pan and crop. I can see it happening. Okay, now is when it starts to mess up a little bit. So we can actually drag this point down a little bit and be like, hey, we want this bit highlighted. There we go. Still looking good. Still looks fine. And by now, I will probably have the blur turned off, but we'll just keep going. There we go. I will just trim that bit right there. There we go. And then we switch this from overlay to on transparent. And boom. Now what we want to do, because we want to blur the world not the gun, we will go to our camera lens blur again, drag that onto the actual sync layer, and you'll see it'll be like boop. There we go. So, and then we'll go to the start, we'll put this on 0, repeat edge pixels, hit the keyframe button, go like 3 keyframes forward, and we'll go like an 8 maybe. There we go, we'll bring up the keyframes here on our layer. We could actually maybe put this like a bit further away so it slowly kind of happens. Maybe we can have it slowly increase as well up to 10. And then as we go for the kill, we'll have it go to 0. And it should look pretty mint. Maybe it might be a bit too strong of a blur. I can hear my computer dying because this is like pretty CPU heavy, this thing here. We've increased to like 7. Yeah, I think that'll look nice. Alright, so now we'll just minimize or close all of these layers there. Damn, 21 minutes already. It's gonna be a long video, boys. Alright, so now we've got that going on. Well, should we preview it? We can preview it. We'll go from the cinematic here. And we'll change it back to half as well. I find full is a lot better when you're using mask prompter just to see what's actually like happening. Man, she's hot today, man. It's summertime for us. It's hot. Alright, here we go. Pretty clean, not bad. And because we've masked out this gun, we could do a little bit here as well. We could do a little something like soft. We could add like so there are a lot of ray effects, S-rays, you know, shine, etc. Even like if you use like some glows and shit. So if I type up rays and we'll go S-rays, and hopefully it doesn't crash my shit. We'll find out. No, we're good. And it just puts a little bit of a ray on there, and we can play with all these things here. So I'm not liking how this is not like enough rays. It might be okay because I don't need too much, but I'll put on edge rays, and then it's like, oh, then it's like too much actually. So we'll go back and we'll use S-rays, and I'm going to increase the brightness to like 6 maybe. I'm going to put like the target down here. So the target is like where the rays start, where they come from. I'm just going to have it like sort of come like out. So it's on 6 brightness right now. If I open up the sync here and I follow these keyframes, and I want to keyframe the brightness and the center XY. No, not the center XY. We'll keyframe that anyway, actually, the rays length, and I'll just put these on 0, so it sort of like comes out along with the blur that we got, the depth of field effect. We'll just turn this back up, maybe turn this up to like 300, and we'll make sure that this is staying like right around here. So it just goes woo. Just make sure that this sort of stays around this area. And as it fades out, we'll bring everything back down to 0. There we go. So there are a lot of effects here you can do with rays. But like I said, more like in-depth effects tutorials are coming. And this video has already gone on for like a million years. I'm not necessarily rushing, but definitely want to get it going. So I think that just adds like a little bit of a oomph to the shit, you know. Alrighty. So now let's I think that just looks straight up good. You could just tell that it does look pretty decent. So now we'll carry on with what we got going on here. Obviously, judge me as hard as you want for copying and pasting like certain keyframes, but it's okay, man. It's okay to do that sometimes. So I'm going to copy and paste more of these exposure ones. Bang, bang, boom, bang. Yeah, obviously we have that. Bang. Into the cinematic. Bang. Out of the cinematic. Bang. So some people would judge the fuck out of me for that. It's fine. It's fine. Don't get grumpy. So yeah, that's what we got here. And then I'm going to use BlurMoCurves for this. So you see how the cinematic goes backwards? I want the BlurMoCurves to help with that. Just go 5, maybe 6 frames back, and then we'll just keyframe the Z distance. Go to where the cinematic is just about to start, and we'll have it zoom out quite a bit. And then back to 1 here. So it kind of goes like zoom. And then basically the same thing. Basically the same thing. Not bad. So we could increase like the blur that this gives us too. It might make it look a little bit better, but we'll just leave it as is for now. It's fine. So I know in the song there's like a little like glitch sound effect somewhere. I need to find it. There it is. It goes. So they're right there, and I'll make these blue so I know what the fuck I'm doing here. Not being like scrolling back later or something like that and being like, what are these for? They're blue. I know what they're for. Alright, so it goes. So I think something like Twitch would work really well. And I want Twitch to be above my color correction. Usually. Because Twitch has like a RGB effect on it. Which I like to see a little bit of. We'll go, where is it? Pink. And we'll go Twitch. Twitch is also a plugin. Bang. And I'm very familiar with Twitch because it shakes the screen around, and you really do need that when you're editing the type of style I usually edit. I'm going to change the speed to like 16. I will enable light so we can have flickering throughout the whole edit, which is usually what I use for my flicker, but there are a lot of other options out there. And we'll go slide, which will instantly fuck my shit, but I usually put the light on like 10, but because it's a softer edit I might put it on like 8. And the slide, I want it to go up and down, so we'll change the spread to 0. We'll add like a little bit of RGB split. There we go. And then we'll just turn this to 0 so I can see what's up. And we go 1, 2, 3, maybe 2. We go 1, 2, and we'll put this on like 10. Go 1, 2, 3, and go 0. So now we've made like a little little thing here. I think it needs to be a bit more because it only goes to 10 for like a second, so if we put it like double that, it'll just look a little bit better. And I'll literally just copy and paste these keyframes here. It's a bit hard to tell how it looks. I also maybe want to put an optics on the last shot here. 2 frames back, 2 frames forward, we'll do like 50. We'll just have it slowly come back out. We'll easy ease these ones, and we'll just drag this in a little bit here. There we go. Actually, not bad. Not bad. Let's save the project real quick, and then we will play. Let's have a look. It's a long video, boys. You guys got to strap in for this one. Goddamn. So I personally don't think it goes to 0 fast enough here. I need it to be glitching up and down real quick and then stopping. Kind of like that. I think that looks a lot better if I just preview from like the middle of the cinematic. So it looks pretty good. I could also use something else to actually make it look a bit more glitchy. I think it looks fine, but why not? Because I feel like I haven't showed off like too many effects here. So if we go new, we'll go adjustment layer, and we'll just call this glitch. So I like to use an effect called BCC cross glitch, and it's usually used for transitions, I believe. But it can give you that little bit of glitch that you need. So you can mess around with this a lot, and I usually do mess around with it a lot. But at the same time, just going like glitch intensity and going like 20 or something like that. Maybe for this type of edit, we'll go a bit lower, and we'll just put it here like this. Give it the old jibbity choppity. Make sure that actually a little bit of a glitch happens there. Go over here as well, and give it a little chippity choppity, and then just delete the rest of that. Okay, so sometimes when you, I don't know how the effect works, but sometimes if you like duplicate it, or obviously chop it like that, it's not happy. So if I just delete the effect from here, and then just drag on a new one, boom, and then we put that back onto like 10, it'll work just fine. So I'm going to make sure, because it is sort of made for transitions, I want to make sure that I'm actually getting like a bit of an effect here. So, oh, that's not the right one, shit. This is trying to edit this bottom one here, trying to change the glitch interval to see if we can get more glitches in. So I think that's working good. There we go. Yeah, I think that's sort of what I want. Maybe even a little blur on the end here, little 10 or something like that, just a little one. Just have it sort of slowly reveal the clip there like that. There you go, that was not bad. Let's watch the whole thing, see if I missed anything, see what's going on. So this part here, so the with the drums, I wouldn't usually add like flickers for that, but what I can add, just because of the type of like drumming it is, I can add a layer, adjustment layer, and I will call this Tint. And we'll go Tint up here, and we'll just drag on like the standard Tint, not a plugin, just standard. And just in the middle of the edit when the drums happen, can go here, and we'll go back like 1, turn this up to like 75, and then when it comes back in, we'll go like that. Nice, not bad. So I think that's going to be pretty much it for effects wise. I do still have a little bit of a finishing up to do here. Don't worry, we're not completely done yet. But for like the actual effects, I think that's pretty mint. Maybe you could make the bars a bit smaller during the cinematics, stuff like that, little minor things like that. But that is pretty much it for the most part. If I just close all these up. So what I like to do pretty much on every edit is I will put all this together, except for the bars and the song, maybe like this, and we'll just pre-compose, and we'll just call this like main 1 or something like that. Move all attributes into the new composition, boom. And then I will go and find my little overlay here. Where is he? Where is my little overlay? the dirty lens effect, and we'll go boop, and we'll just put that into what, like overlays or other. There we go, and we'll drag that on top like that. And you probably, if you've been watching my edits, you know exactly what this is. Now, some people like to cut out the worm, but for the sake of the guy on Twitter that I can't remember his name, I will leave the worm there just for you. The worm lives on, alright? It will stay there. If you don't know what the worm is, it's this little guy down here in the bottom left. He's staying just for you, alright? Not because I can't be bothered cutting it out, but just for you. So with this, I usually like to add a little bit of a tint, take some of the color out of it, and then we'll add like some curves. Maybe bring this down. Bring this down, because there's like a lot of dirt. Yes, I am still listening to this music. Fuck you. There's like a lot of speckles and dirt that I like really do try to get rid of. So I'm just gonna try to drag this down quite a bit. There we go. Okay. Now if we copy the whole entire composition, we'll just take the sound off there, and then we'll drag on threshold. But let's find a good spot first. There we go. We'll drag on something called threshold. Where are we? There we go. And then we'll make this like, put this at like 200. We got 200 to start with, and then we'll drag on. I think it's fast blur. Yeah, fast box blur. Repeat edge pixels, and put this on like 150. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And then we'll go levels. Check our levels on there, and we'll make this a little bit brighter. That might be a little bit too bright. No, we'll see. We'll see. And then we'll go drag on another fast box blur. Repeat edge pixels, and we'll put this on like 200. Yeah, maybe a little bit brighter. Nah, a little bit less bright. Fuck it. Alright, and then we are going to Luma matte the dirty screen onto basically the white here. And the white is coming from the bright parts in our video, so it should create a bit of like this lens effect. And we'll put this on like screen or lighten or like lighter color. It doesn't really matter. We'll go, I usually go screen or lighter color. Sort of depends on the look you're going for. And the threshold in this one will control the amount. So if I turn this down, you'll see it shows up like a lot more. If I turn it up, it shows up like a lot less. Sometimes I even drag a blur onto this to just sort of like blur that in a little bit. But if I just leave this on like 200, we can scroll through and we can see that it's not quite showing up here. We don't want it showing up constantly, but we do want a little something something. So 150 here. See, now it's showing up way too much. I think the way I've done my curves is a little bit goofy, but we can actually sort of get a little bit sharp. We'll change this back to screen. There we go. We'll change the curves down a lot more. That worm is driving me nuts, dude. Sorry, I got to cut it out. It's happening. I got to do it. We'll just make a little mask around it like that. We'll press M to open the mask. I'm sorry, man. Then we'll cut it out. Then we'll open our mask controls. We'll turn the feather on to like 25 or like 40. Yeah, something like that. There we go. That worm is no longer driving me nuts. This might be a little bit too bright as well, so we'll just turn that down a little bit. And we can basically keyframe the threshold, because we don't want this to be too much, like ever. If this is too much, then it just sort of like lowers the quality of the edit overall. 175, somewhere around there. So when it gets up to the shooting here, I'm just going to go to 165. When it gets to the cinematic, so I'm going to keyframe here, so it holds the same value between these two keyframes, then go across. I'm going to go like 180. There we go. You can see it like a little bit throughout the edit, which is exactly what we want. Just a little bit of it throughout like the whole edit. Very nice. Okay, and then usually I would add, we'll go new, adjustment layer, and I will add, oopsie, move that back up. I will add Real Smart Motion Blur. You can either use Real Smart Motion Blur Pro or just standard. The standard one's pretty easy going. You just drag it on and you choose like 0.2 or something like that. For this edit, I'm going to go like 0.1, and motion sensitivity needs to be like 50 maybe. And it just adds like a nice little blur. I don't want it to be like too much. Now be aware, adding Real Smart Motion Blur, which is literally just like motion blur, will add a lot to your render time. So we'll let this play and we'll see what's up. Keeping in mind I do have this on half, so I can actually preview it at a decent time. Oh, it's struggling. It's really about to struggle when it gets up to the mask prompted part, I'll tell you that much. Nah, never mind, it destroyed it. Hell yeah. Here we go.
Should I run away and change my name? Or should I stay and fight through the night and never close my eyes? Should
Again.
I run away and change my name? Or should I stay and fight through the night and never close my eyes?
No, I probably could have done the flickering here, but that's okay. And that is like pretty much it. I would add it to render queue, render away in MOV or AVI, whatever you prefer, done. So I think that's about it for, holy 42 minutes. It's going to be a big file to upload. That's just about it. So that's how I would generally edit something. That's the process of me editing stuff, and I had a lot of fun doing this, and there'll be a lot more like tutorials coming up, a lot more effects, because I know people really do want to see effects, especially because there's not as many like hardcore folk around these days doing these type of edits, and I'm more than happy to share what I've learned throughout the years of editing with you guys, and I really appreciate the great feedback that I've been getting on this, and it's been a good time. It's been a good time. I will probably see you next Friday with more tutorials, and I'll guess I'll see you then.